Call 352-433-2320. We help veterans and their families with limited financial assistance, counseling, employment referrals, and a food and clothing bank. You can help in making a huge difference in the veterans' lives we serve by donating food, clothing, household items, or direct financial assistance. All donations are tax deductible. Veterans Helping Veterans USA, 352-433-2320. Thank you for your attention and God bless America.
Now you did it. Are you completely insane? He's back. He, who must not be named, the man, the myth, the only guy in Ocala to eat his own weight in fried pickles. Twice. Now, you asked for it. Sorta. Live and in person. It's Tom Schmidt.
Welcome back to a Tuesday Ocala Talks. I'm your host, Tom Schmidt, coming to you from the studios of WOCA Radio, just off the runway at the Ocala International Airport. Hey, this past year, folks, a number of our neighbors have been heroes, medical professionals, teachers, the grocery store workers, and by the way, rightfully so, they've stood in line on the front lines as this pandemic has happened. But another group, one we may not be as familiar with, they've been helping those impacted by the pandemic as well, and they should be referred to as heroes because they help keep roofs over people's heads. They're called housing counselors. And with an estimated 1 in 5 renters behind on rent, just over 10 million homeowners behind on mortgage payments, these advocates have been and continue to play a critical role for the people in need. Eileen Fitzgerald, she's the head of Housing Affordability Philanthropy with Wells Fargo. She's on the phone lines with us. She's going to talk about the importance of these individuals who really are heroes and the services that are still available to everyone. Eileen, good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
Eileen, let's talk for a minute about housing counselors. What role do they continue to play in helping people who fear losing their homes right now?
Yeah, so a housing counselor is a financial coach and advocate that really is there for you and has the best interests of your family at heart. There are thousands of housing counselors that are approved by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, HUD, and offer objective advice, usually at little or no cost. Wells Fargo has helped support these counselors, for many years. So what does a housing counselor do? They help people find available rental assistance and information on legal protections. Sometimes they can help in conversations with landlords on rent repayment plans, or work with other creditors and help renters really with managing, and homeowners with managing their debts. They also work with homeowners on their budgets, their other debts, and can help them find solutions to foreclosure.
Well, we just heard that the state of California, unlike Florida, state of California is offering 100% of the rent to be paid, back rent and back mortgages to be paid, as their governor's facing a recall. But if your landlord doesn't want to participate in it, then the renter will get that 100% money given to them. Is that something a counselor can help them with if they're not participating and the landlord wants them out? They can help them budget with the money they're going to receive to find new housing and to get on with their lives?
Yes, absolutely. A counselor is a great place to start for that, to help. And even if your landlord is participating, you still might be having a hard time making it all work. So the counselor can both help you think through the money part, figure out how to access that rental assistance in whatever state, or locality you're in. And then equally important, can connect you if you do need legal assistance and kind of put you on the right path and send you to the right people for that. And, again, this is available usually at no cost or very, very minimal cost for everyone. So please reach out to people.
Now, I know that they help when there's a problem with renters or there's a problem with mortgages, but I found with doing a little research that they can actually, home counselors can actually help you through the buying process of a home, and because that's an extremely difficult process if you've never done it. Tell us a little bit about how that offer is out there.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. It can be so intimidating. Even if you've done it before, it's intimidating, right? And yeah. Often we look to friends or family, for advice, but they don't, they mean well, but they don't know the particulars of your situation. It may great information. So the housing counselor really provides independent advice on buying a home, helping you understand what you can really afford, in your family versus what, maybe somebody tells you can afford, how to think about mortgages, what's the long-term cost of home ownership. Often you go look at the houses, you watch the show on TV, you fall in love with the house, but is that the right place for you financially? So they'll help you work through that, understand the mortgage options, and really, just again, be your independent advisor in this.
Well, I know that these services can't get done without help from mortgage services and bank services like yours. How does your organization, how does Wells Fargo contribute?
Thanks. So, Wells Fargo for years has supported the housing counseling through grants. And most recently in COVID, we provided $85 million for housing across the country, knowing that, we're in such a crisis. And this funding went to housing counselors, to legal assistants, and to, local and national nonprofit housing organizations, really all trying to help people stay in their house in their homes, because we know, a home's fundamental, right? It gives you wellness, health, economic opportunity. It is the base place you have to be.
You got to have food. You got to have a roof over your head. Roof over your head is very important. And
absolutely.
Now, they send us when we set up these interviews, they send us some suggested questions. And I was looking at one of the suggested questions, and I went, why does this question have to be asked? But then I thought about it, and I go, well, okay, I now understand, because we know COVID-19 has impacted the housing security, because people hadn't been able to go to work and they hadn't been making the money they would make, so they hadn't been able to pay their mortgages or hadn't been able to pay their rent. But what are some of the other impacts that COVID-19 has done to housing security? Hello? Did we lose Eileen? I think we may have lost Eileen. And that was a very important question I wanted her to answer. Eileen, are you there? We have lost connection with Eileen. Huh. Well, she'll try to, I'm sure they'll try to call us back, effort to call us back with about 3 minutes left to go. That was a very important question. I wanted to know other ways that COVID-19 had impacted housing security. We know it's impacted it through, people not being able to work, so the income not being the same. But hopefully she calls back. If not, who I'm looking at in studio coming up in about 8 minutes from now after the top of the hour. Master gardener Carol Ann Baldwin, already in the green room doing research. I showed her a picture that a listener gave me, and she's already doing research on it. Eileen, do we have you back?
Stand by.
Okay, stand by. We're standing by for Eileen. Eileen is coming back. I don't know, had some phone issues. Hi, Eileen. Welcome back.
Hey.
So
sorry about that.
I don't know if you heard the question. I know that when I read this question, a suggested question for the interview, I was like, well, that's just a question that's easy to answer. How's COVID-19 impact housing security? It's done it because people aren't working and they hadn't made the money they're used to. But then I thought, are there other ways that COVID-19 has impacted housing security? Are there other ways, Eileen?
Well, I think the challenge is that there's this long-standing racial inequities in housing, where for decades, Black and Hispanic homeowners and renters have been paying a much larger percentage of their income, their monthly, daily paychecks, and then COVID just exacerbated that. So we know that they have been much harder hit during the pandemic. And these issues come to a head because the end of June marks the expiration of the federal CDC moratorium on eviction. And for most homeowners, it is also the deadline for them to request a forbearance. So we wanted to really emphasize that for folks, like this is the time. If you're feeling like you're having an issue, please reach out to a housing counselor, now, because the rules under COVID have changed.
We got about 20 seconds. Where can listeners go to learn more?
Yep, HUD.gov, HUD.gov, and /find a counselor. So you're HUD.gov or look up housing counseling on HUD.gov.
Eileen Fitzgerald, Head of Housing Affordability Philanthropy with Wells Fargo. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thanks so much.
We'll be right back with Carol Ann Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. She's in the building after this time out at 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Today in Ag News from a Southeast Ag Nap.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, the Republican from Kentucky, on Monday called out the Democrats' election takeover bill on the